Hello, Heezy, Icy, Sharky, Bubba E. Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. We must, do the Instagerm. Are you ready? I hope so. I hope that you are ready. There is no other option but to be ready. I made eggs. I made an egg today, and I took a picture of it. I just saw it in my in my camera reel. All right, here we go. Oh, whoa, what's this? Are we starting the second game? Where's Herlock? Oh, there he is. Hello, hi, I love you. You're an idiot. You're fine. I like you. Who's that? I don't like him. Who is that? Anyways, I'm live. Wow. Good morning. Comfy egg cat. I made an egg. I've been making a lot of eggs recently. If you go to my Instagram, maybe you'll see a picture of an egg. There it is. Let me link twitch.tv/config. Yeah, I'm gonna also put another story of my egg for y'all right now. It's like a gorgeous egg. Also, look at this perfect little eggy weggy. Look at this perfect little eggy wiggy. Look at this perfect little guy. What a silly perfect little guy. Okay. All right. We've done it. J Baba, it is pretty excellent. You gotta go to Instagram though. Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing so good. Eggs are good. So I didn't used to like them, but now I like them. But now I still don't want a hard-boiled egg. Throw that in the garbage, or you can have mine, everybody. That's fine. Anything like that, I don't want it at all. But like a scrambo, a fried, a sunny side, those are okay. Those are pretty good. Hard-boiled, deviled. Excellent. Scrambo is good with bacon. Yes, absolutely. I have a bunch of these little, they're like pre-cut little hammy chunky boys. And I can put them in my eggs. Or I can like fry them up first. Hi, hello, oh, jeez. Hi, hello, how are you? I fry up the eggs, maybe some feta cheese. Fatui cheese. And then and you put the egg on top of that after the other stuff's cooked a little bit. I do have a soundboard. Akron, hello. No, that's just my mouth. Ready. How are you? Happy Wednesday, everybody. I've missed you. I've been so excited to restart the Great Ace Attorney, but we had fun with Ghost Trick, and I loved sharing Ghost Trick with you all. If you all missed any of the Ghost Trick, as always, they are up. The VODs are up on my VOD channel. Check it out. Check it out. How are you all? I am feeling real energized. I've consumed most of my tea already. I'm ready to do all these silly voices. And I'm just, listen, I'm gonna boot up the game. Here we go. I'm gonna do it. We're gonna have some dubbo music. No, we're not. I'll turn it off. Problem solved, everyone. Ah! Let me just scream about it. You all like it when I scream, right? Ah! Alright, I gotta turn the game capture back to Greatest Attorney. Does it show up in the back of the... Yeah, it does. Hell yeah. You step away for food, Sharky. Alright, babies. So, we're gonna start the whole second game. So, I'm sure there's gonna be some recap about the events of the first game, but it'll be in there, certainly. Because they can't expect us to hold that all in our brain between two titles. But we're at the docks. Yeah, select adventure. Grace Attorney Adventures. Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, okay. So, new game. The music's different. You ready? I hope so. Meg looks pretty, thank you. They don't always come out that good. Oh, we got plot. A video. Ooh, this looks gorgeous. This is not a video. That's just Sasato.
Standing here in the bright sunshine, looking out over the vast ocean. Those days in London seem like a dream. But I do miss my time in England's vast capital.
I don't feel like she had that accent the first time around.
You know, he's flourished into a truly wonderful lawyer. I've no doubt that at this very moment, he's fighting some noble cause in court.
Is it gonna cut to me and I'm like, there's like a chicken thief or something?
Forgive me for taking so long to come to visit you. My life has been such a whirlwind since I returned. And no one could have predicted what has happened.
What has happened?
Just 2 months after arriving home.
I find myself faced with another crime. Whoa! It's the Swan Lady from the first game.
So I came here today to ask something of you. Tomorrow, I shall be standing in court. For the only time in my life. As a lawyer.
What? You what? Oh, the Swan Lady died!
I ask for your guidance.
That's fine, she was awful.
Kazuma-sama.
Kazuma-sama. Oh, Kazuma. Oh, yeah. No, that tracks. Whoa! The Adventure of the Blossoming Eternity. We get to play as Sasato? Oh, that's fun. Oh, I like that. We're back here. Dog lover, good morning. Hello. Swans are mean, but they're so pretty. How could anything pretty be mean? 13th August, 8:30 almost in the morning. Here I am again after 9 months. The Supreme Court of Japan. I feel so nervous, but I must steel my nerves and find a way to compose myself. It's my dad. Ah, good, you're here. It doesn't do for a lawyer to be late. Oh, yes, good morning, sir. Hi, my father. Hello. I hardly recognize you. You cut a fine figure, counsel. What does that mean? But you look as white as a sheet, and those wide eyes aren't doing you any favors either. Oh, dear. The truth is, I'm so incredibly nervous. I feel utterly nauseated. I almost wish that I'd never been born. Goodness, not the sort of thing a father hopes to hear from his daughter, I must say. So just stop talking. Yujin Mikitoba, professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University. Thank you for the lurk, Icy. A man who earlier in his life traveled to Great Britain to study the latest advances in forensic medical science. And of course, my brilliant father. Teehee. Excuse me. Oh, ooh. Oh, she's cute. What the heck? What is her voice? Would I be correct in thinking that you're to be my lawyer in court today? Yeah. Yes, that's right, miss. Well, I want to thank you for agreeing to represent me. I swear on my life. It's a complete fabrication of this whole thing. 20 more days to your birthday. Happy early birthday. Hold on. Ray Membambi? Wait. Ray Membambi. Why does that sound... That sounds like an Italian last name. What if she's like a little bit Italian? Born in both the same year as I and my greatest friend. Though unusual for a woman in our time, she works at the university research laboratory, helping my father. And sadly, She's the defendant in today's trial, accused of committing a truly awful murder. Hooray! Are you feeling all right? Since we started talking, you seem, well, to have become a little flushed. What if I... Oh my, it's just that... You look so gallant and dashing. Sorry? And when I fall under your intense gaze, it makes me feel rather bashful. Goodness, I don't think she knows. She hasn't realized who I am. What? Oh, is she dressed up like a mile? Wahahaha! It would seem our little plan for this trial's gonna work. Oh, what do you mean, Professor Mikotoba? Welcome back, Shark. Even your best friend can't see through the disguise. I think we can relax. The Sam crew, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Mew crew. How are you? Disguise? Yes, I've never tried dressing this way before, of course, so I wasn't sure how convincing it would be. But this does make me feel a little relieved, as you say, Father. But, Father? Oh, she's got like this constant expression. Thank you for the head pat, Sam. How are you? What? Is that you, Sasato? I'm so sorry I didn't say something sooner, Ray. Did my high-pitched voice give it away? No, what are you doing? What's going on? What? The varsity uniform, the varsity cap, the varsity cape, the varsity badge. Look at you. You look all for the world like a student of the Imperial Yuma University, a male student. I'm so glad you think so. It means all my preparations have been worthwhile. I woke at 4 this morning to make a start. But I don't understand. Why are you dressed like that? Well, you see. So you see. It was the only way. The only way she would be permitted into the Supreme Court to take your defense in this trial. My defense? Rat King, hello! How are you? Never before in my life have I felt so frustrated at being born into this body. Courts in Japan are barred to women. We're not even allowed to set foot inside the courtroom. Despite the fact that the laws of the land apply to all people, male and female alike. But women are forbidden. Just for today, I'll be leaving my true self at the courtroom door, so that I can act as your lawyer! Oh, Sasato, you'd go to such lengths for me. I don't know why I'm changing her accent all over the place. Of course, you're my greatest friend. I just worry that I shan't be the lawyer you deserve. Oh no, I have complete faith in you. Ray! It's so strange, though. I mean, you're such an accomplished judicial assistant already. And yet, just because you're a woman, what a wretched reason! I mean, why shouldn't you be allowed in court? You're so gallant and dashing. That's just my outfit. Jax, hello! Oh, good luck with your job interview. Oh my goodness, you're gonna kick its whole butt. Take this air horn as a good luck enthusiasm generator, you know what I mean? Ray, please don't look at me like that with those flushed cheeks and doting eyes. We're not gonna date, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You just really do look so dashing. Yes, you mentioned that once or twice. You don't need to, we're just friends.
You should be pleased. It means you look convincing as a man.
I am pleased, I think. It certainly helped to bolster my confidence today. Ray, you're managing to put on a brave face in all this, but I can see through it. I've noticed how your shoulders are slumped, and how you're trembling ever so slightly. Sasato, you do believe me, don't you? I didn't do it. I couldn't have. I mean, murder? Of course. There's nothing to worry about. Ow! Except for flying objects, maybe. Your conscience is perfectly clean. Isn't that right? Yes. Yes, it is. Perfectly clean. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind about your innocence. Which is why I'll stand by you until the bitter end in this trial. Whatever happens, I'll always be on your side! Because that's what it means to be a defense lawyer. I guess. That means so much to me, Sasato.
Defendant's counsel! Court is about to begin.
The way I pronounce slump. Hello, Eli. Hello.
You should go in at once, Ray. If you're late, the judge won't hesitate to pronounce you guilty. That's how everything sucks, and that's how it works.
Angel Dust. Hello. I'm not doing all that, but welcome. Stand aside. She runs in. I don't think I've ever seen her run so fast.
Well, Sasato, you've certainly surprised your father. Going to such lengths to be admitted into a courtroom, and with no prior experience of being a lawyer.
What does a love check do? There's only one way to find out, baby. There was simply no other way. That's all there is to it. But Father, you haven't told her, have you? I mean, I'm right in assuming that Ray doesn't know how it came to this. The real Angel Dust.
I love you.
Dog lover, I love you.
Yes, quite right. I've kept that information from her. It would only worry her if she found out that no other lawyer would agree to take her case. I didn't want to burden her with that.
And is it true? The reason why every other lawyer is refusing to take the case? Is it really because of who the victim was?
We should be making a move now, too. As you know, law isn't my field, but I'll do what I can to support my student.
Thank you, Father. Father. I'm Sasato Mikitoba, a judicial assistant. 8 months ago, I accompanied a student of law on a study trip to Great Britain. 2 months ago, due to unforeseen circumstances, I found myself back in Japan. We're back at it again, babies. How many times have I wished that he were here? I wonder. Still, I have no choice but to steel myself for the trial ahead. Wish me luck, Naruhodo-san. Yeah, we're gonna do a crime solve. Excuse me. Oh, it's this bunghole again. Not him.
Court is now in session to hear the trial of Ray Membambi.
No, Ray Membami.
Ray Membambi.
The prosecution is fully ready to proceed, Your Excellency.
Look at her. I love it.
Defense counsel, are you ready? Yes, Your Excellency, we are ready.
What, should I give her like a... Oh, she's got Naruhodo's like crazy eyes. Ready! That's her like boy voice.
Oh, yes, counsel. According to your registration details, your name is, Ryutaru Naruhodo, is that correct?
I don't know if that's a pun.
Sorry? Oh, yes, I had to come up with a suitable male name for you for this little venture. Well, I'm afraid to say I simply put down the first name that sprung to mind. Well, counsel. Yes, that's right, that's me. Yes, I am Ryutaro, he who vowed to hold the pride of the great Naruhodo clan.
I don't know if I can hold that. Seems Ryutaro may need to consider how to better uphold his manly act first and not overdo it. And those wild, wide eyes aren't doing you any favors either. Just relax and listen. Naruhodo?
A fresh face in this courtroom, if I'm not mistaken. But the name Naruhodo, would that perchance be?
You may be thinking of Ryunosuke Naruhodo, currently in Britain as part of a study programme. This is, his cousin. It's me, my cousin. That's right, Ryutaru has been studying in the provinces, but was called to the capital for this trial. I assure you, in matters of law, his knowledge rivals that of any of Tokyo's preeminent lawyers. Ready of them.
Tut. What a pitiful situation. Having been rejected by every lawyer in the capital, the accused has had to call in a country boy.
How dare you? Sasato is oh no. Sasato is every bit as gallant and dashing as any of your Tokyo attorneys. I won't have you making fun of her.
Her?
Oh, please be careful, Ray.
What an unrefined tomboy we have here. But I wonder, is your gallant and dashing lawyer up to the challenge of defending you? His wide, skittish eyes very much suggest that he is not.
I'm so nervous. Now that I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand what Naruhodo-san goes through. Like it or not, eyes are... What to flit? Don't make my case harder.
Case is to be heard on the day of the matter of great significance to our national interests. In fact, it would be reasonable to assume that the outcome of this trial may well affect the very future of our empire.
Just like the trial 9 months ago. And yet, for proceedings of such importance, we have this unknown yokel by the dock? Dear me.
Perhaps this would be an appropriate moment for me to assess the defense. To determine whether you are sufficiently competent to practice in this courtroom.
It's like a tutorial, chat.
"9 months ago, when a certain other Naruhodo stood where you're standing now."
There's only one tomboy. There's lots of tomboys, dog lover.
"This same judge vested him well. And even though he was just a student at the time, not even of law, he passed the test with flying colors. For a trained and experienced judicial assistant like you, this will be easy. So, counsel, you consent to answering some simple questions."
Alright, Ryutaro's the name tag. It's time to prove myself.
Yeah, do it.
Yes, Your Excellency.
But please do make them simple. No, I know.
Very well, to start with, you will state the name of the victim.
Woo, that's simple. I couldn't forget that if I tried. But I gotta look at my... Ah!
What's the matter?
Now that I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand something else Naruto-san goes through. Like it or not, lines are want to blink! It's not surprising, really. I love her. I feel like her character wasn't, like, as well defined in the first game. She was kind of like the girl sidekick. Not as impressive as Maya, right? But now she's kind of getting a little more character, I think.
It's not surprising, really. It's your first time in this position and in that guise. Even a bright spark like you is bound to flicker and falter a little under the circumstances.
Oh dear, this is a dismal failure.
Don't fret. You need only use the knowledge you've gained as a judicial assistant to overcome the problem.
Of course, the court record.
Yes, the answer will be amongst all the key information about the case in the court record. That's right. Just use E to open it up.
I'd love to.
Then you need to flip to the people section and look at it all. Come on.
Alright, check the court record with E. Now I can do it. Hooray. Let's look up all the stuff. Giselle Brett. Yeah, it was the Swan Lady from the first game. Time of death, August 11th. I think it is 2 days later. 2 p.m. Ascertained by examination and witness statements. Cause of death, Stingle's deep stab wound from behind, piercing a lung and resulting in a fatal hemorrhage. Death would have occurred within minutes. That's going to be important, certainly. Extreme mitosis, pupil constriction, was observed in the victim in both eyes. Interesting. Okay, so then we go over to people. So we got me, we got my friend, we got Takatsuchi Ouchi. And then we have her, Giselle Brett. She's found guilty of murder, but she didn't get arrested because she's a criminal overlord. Okay.
I'm waiting, counsel. What is the name of the victim in this case?
Giselle Brett. Yes. Ooh, baby. Yes!
The name of the victim who lost her life in this case is Mr. Giselle Brett. It's me, Ryutaro. That's what I sound like.
Giselle Brett.
A name that'll never be forgotten in the courtrooms of our country, I'm sure. Correct. Being a member of our empire's judiciary, you will be aware of the significance of that name. So let me pose another simple question. As you know, Ms. Brett was a visiting student from the Empire of Great Britain. Why, then, is her name indelibly associated with her own empire's judicial history? Obviously, you won't have forgotten that case from 9 months ago. But if it's proving hard to recall the finer points, everything you need is included in the court record.
Obviously, I still remember. That was the start of everything.
Giselle Brett.
I'm gonna give her court voice, like a real, like a kind of a thing.
Behind the woman's student persona was the face of a killer.
Yes! It's still, why is she still, it's still just her voice.
9 months ago, a visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University was killed. And the culprit was Giselle Brett.
Yes, she was a killer.
She just loved murder, couldn't get enough.
At the time, our country had just signed a new treaty with the Empire of Great Britain. And it was in the midst of this delicate diplomatic situation that the incident occurred.
Killer, where?
An Englishman, Dr. John H. Watson, not John Wilson, no relation, was shot dead. I believe he was an associate of yours, Professor Mika. Oh, wait, is this me? Who's saying this? Oh, God. Thought that was him saying that. Yes, I was indebted to the man. He'd been my mentor when I went to London to study forensic medicine. Indeed, it was I who invited him here to Japan as a visiting professor at the university. Naturally, the murder of an Englishman on our soil was a matter the government wished to resolve rapidly.
Indeed it was, which was why a secret trial was conducted here at the Supreme Court. A student of the Imperial Yume University was arrested on suspicion of murder. A second-year English language student by the name of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. With the help of his best friend, a student lawyer, the accused conducted his own defense and exposed the despicable crime committed by Ms. Giselle Brett. Ms. Brett eventually admitted to her crime. However, when questioned about the motive that drove her to take Dr. Wilson's life, she gave no satisfactory answer before the trial reached its conclusion.
Immediately after the trial, the British government brought its consular jurisdiction into play. We were unable to sentence Ms. Brett according to our empire's laws. It was decided she would be removed to Shanghai, China instead.
Why Shanghai?
There's a British consular court there.
Correct, I oversaw the negotiations personally. The date of her transfer to Shanghai was finally settled upon only last week. All that remained of our empire's obligations was to see the woman safely on board a steamship.
And yet, the very day before her departure, the Englishwoman was killed!
Only the day before?
Why'd it take 8 months? That's a little crazy.
That will do. I'm satisfied that the counsel for the defense is sufficiently capable of representing the defendant.
Oh.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Over the first hurdle.
Now, a summary of the incident, if you please. Prosecutor Ouchie.
As you wish, Your Excellency. The repugnant crime took place on the 11th August in broad daylight.
Those birds did it. Clearly.
On the outskirts of the Imperial capital, under a bright blue sky, at a secluded bathing spot by the sea. The incident occurred inside a small beach hut, erected for bathers to rest or change their clothes. The cause of death was a single stab wound to the posterior abdomen that pierced the victim's lung. An injury which proved fatal.
What about her swan? Is her swan dead?
There were 2 persons alone together in the beach hut at the time of the victim's death. Ms. Brett in her bathing attire, and the accused, Ray Membami. Accordingly, there can be no doubt of the accused's guilt, especially when we consider she had a powerful motive. The police arrived rapidly at the scene and promptly arrested the young lady.
Really?
Well, an extraordinary description of events leaves me somewhat lost for words, I must say.
That's certainly true. The prosecution summary was full of words that raise an awful lot of questions.
Yay, it's a beach episode.
As a lawyer, I really ought to pick the prosecution counsel on what he said about
a powerful motive. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah! You're clearly exaggerating. Powerful motive is a blatant overstatement. Tut tut tut. Is the yokel boy using long... Oh, I forgot to do... using long words he doesn't fully understand. His trial is a beach.
I beg your pardon?
No matter. Let us put this to the accused, shall we? Mbami-san, you are a research assistant at the Imperial Yumi University, I believe.
Yes, I am. I'm working with Professor Mikatoba in his laboratory at the moment. Hello, I don't know why I always call you Marion. Marvin, hello.
I can confirm that. The defendant is an excellent assistant with a strong sense of responsibility.
Fascinating to hear. Now, another question. Prior to your work at Professor Mikatoba, whose research were you assisting then?
Oh, I was studying under Dr. John H. Wilson.
Dr. Wilson? The visiting English professor who was murdered by Miss Brett 9 months ago.
Uh-oh. Bump. The accused had a deep-seated respect for her former mentor, Dr. Wilson. Is that not true?
Yes, Dr. Wilson was a wonderful man.
Yo, we're doing great. We just started the second game. How are you doing?
Interesting. Then tell the court what deep-seated feelings you had towards the Englishwoman who killed him.
Well, obviously I was filled with hatred for what she'd done. A powerful hatred.
Yeah, his hair got cut in the end of the first trial. Oh no, Ray, be careful what you're saying.
Ah.
Give me the fan thing, baby.
The motive was revenge, plain and simple, Your Excellency.
Well, it was clearly a trap all along. How wicked of him to use Ray's undying respect for her former mentor against her like that. It's me, Ryutaro. This is what I sound like.
Must find out more details, and something we can use to bolster our defense. As a lawyer, I really ought to pick up the prosecution counsel on what he said about...
just all of it, I guess. If I may, Prosecutor Ouchie.
What do you want, you fresh-faced young yokel student?
I wonder, could you explain, please? You mentioned a bathing spot.
My apologies. Clearly my modernity has confused the poor country bumpkin's simple mind. Bathing spots are the very latest trend in health practices from the West. We are told that bathing in the water of the ocean is curative, therapeutic, and excellent for the skins.
No, that's not what I meant. It's me, Ryutaro. I was referring to the fact that Miss Brett had, to all intents and purposes, been found guilty of murder. Why would a known criminal have been relaxing by the sea?
For old time's sake, I believe.
Sorry?
Miss Brett was to depart for Shanghai the following day. Her final wish, as it were, was to enjoy a day at her country's wonderful coast. And the British Embassy put extreme pressure on our government to comply.
But on what grounds would we have to agree to such a request?
Because, as usual, our government is unable to stand up to foreign powers. In matters of diplomacy, it seems we don't even have the courage to decline the whims of a known criminal. Don't look at me, Professor. It was the government who granted permission, not I.
She looks so official, she's blending in.
In any case, it was decided that with a dedicated detective on duty, nothing could go wrong.
But in fact, a murder took place, a murder most foul, a super-duper murder.
Don't look at me, I said. It was a young girl who did it, not I.
No one has proved that yet.
I wouldn't provoke the man if you don't need to.
At this stage, I need to gather more information, I think. I'll ask about the middle thing.
Mbami-san.
Yes, what is it? Naruhodo-san. I'm really starting to wish we'd made my alias Ryutaro Sasato.
Please tell the court why exactly you were presented at the bathing spot with the victim in the first place. And why you were alone with her.
Oh, well, no, that's not true. It wasn't like that at all. There were other people present, a detective who was guarding Miss Brett for starters. I was just asked to accompany Miss Brett as a companion, that's all.
But let us be clear. At the moment of her death, you were alone together with the victim in the hut. You and no one else. The truth is, there was only one reason why this young woman accompanied Ms. Brett to her bathing sojourn. It was the accused's last chance to take the victim's life.
Oh, no.
Because, as we know, the following day we would see Ms. Brett extradited to the British authorities in Shanghai. And the accused would never have the opportunity to dispatch her again.
Bump. Kindly refrain from conjecture, counsel. Shut your mouth, your big dummy dum-dum mouth. Your stupid idiot face.
I believe we all have a clear picture of the incident now. Despite her guilt being determined 9 months ago, Ms. Brett managed to avoid incarceration instead, continuing her research at the university. Obviously, over that period, she and Ray would have encountered each other on a number of occasions.
Seeing the murder of the mentor for whom she had such great respect, enjoying such undeserved liberty.
Yes, even if it was only temporary until Ms. Brett's extradition to Shanghai.
Excuse me.
You can hardly blame Ray for her feelings of anger and resentment.
Poor Ray.
So, Your Excellency, if you'd be so kind as to peruse this exhibit. A photographic print that shows the scene of the crime immediately following the grim incident.
Boom, baby.
Yes, thank you, counsel. A tragic image.
A lot going on here.
As you can clearly see, there's nowhere within the hut that anyone else could have hidden.
Court will accept this photographic print as evidence.
Photographic print.
As I understand it then, the victim and the defendant were alone inside the beach hut at the time. This is deeply troubling, I must say. The finger of guilt points firmly at the defendant.
Well, Your Excellency, naturally the prosecution has much more to its case. We intend to prove the accused's appalling actions beyond all impossible contention. To that end, I can confirm that we have multiple witnesses to the crime and damning evidence.
Witnesses? But who?
Rip the Swan Lady, she will not be missed.
That's the real.
One of whom, I might add, is a highly respected police detective. I assure you, the testimony of these witnesses will leave no room for doubt.
Bonk.
Very well then, counsel. Bring forth your witnesses.
I, Takatsuchi Ouchi, have been waiting for this moment.
Sorry?
Oh yes, I haven't forgotten. That trial 9 months ago here in this very courthouse. When that irreverent little student boy utterly humiliated me. Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Well, yes?
This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten.
You become conceited with age, counsel, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new.
Yeah, cut him up.
It's the way of the world. May you never forget that.
Woo! From across the courtroom. Now you've got sillier hair than ever before.
Strike the head of the samurai whose top knot has been cut, and the bell of cultural enlightenment tolls. Yes, on that fateful day, my former self died.
The start of your own mini Meiji revolution? Are you modernizing as well, counsel?
Silence! Since I swore revenge back then, there had been a minor miracle atop my head. Observe the ouchie growth.
Is that little...
You see the seed of hope sprouting forth from the barren expanse of my crown.
This is a courtroom. I know Ace Attorney games get wild in the courtroom, but like now we're just talking about this lawyer's hairline. Oh my god. Oh, I haven't. Oh, there was sleepy sand in my eyes still, but I've been awake a while. Oh no. Oh dear. Okay. Here we go. I think that tiny growth is trying to tell me something. I'm afraid I can't really see. Where is the hope exactly?
I said silence! Today I face another yokel student of the Naruhodo clan. Well, I will vanquish you! And my victory will be the fertilizer for the seed of hope atop my head. You have been warned! With that, the prosecution calls the witness to the stand.
Looks like the stakes are high on both sides of this trial. Not really. Prosecution and defense each have much to lose. The haircut is hardly comparable to Ray's life. Yeah, I bet you at the end of this trial, that little seed's gonna fall right off his head. It's him!
Oh, it's both of them! Witnesses, please state your name and occupations for the court.
Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Imperial Police Bureau. I'm in disguise, obviously, so I can go undetected.
What disguise?
And I am, well, the next big thing in books. An author renowned throughout the capital, in fact, yes. Soon to be sold out the satirical I Am a Cat, the sensational success by Soseki Natsume. Whoa. That's fun. Oh my goodness. Struggling student from the provinces, please. You needn't be in awe of me. I needn't? Totally natural that you'd feel nervous in my presence, but all of you, please relax. Call me Soseki, even. Yes.
What on earth is Soseki-san doing here?
Tread carefully, Susato. That author fellow knows you from your time in London, doesn't he? Only for 1 second, and I see that. If he exposes you for who you really are, this will be over before it's begun. Yes, of course, I know. Don't shut up, I know.
I presume Soseki-san won't have forgotten about me. I would certainly never forget him. Though he does seem to have changed somewhat in the 6 months or so it's been since I last saw him. And as for Inspector Hosonaga, an amazing outfit is
hard to believe. We never got to the bottom of his bloody coughing. I thought he was going to be more present in the first game, and then he just wasn't. Do I have something on my face?
Well, your glasses for one, although they don't seem to be helping you see. Thank goodness he hasn't recognized me either.
Ah, I suppose it's this disguise, is it? I thought that appearing here in the clothes I was wearing at the time would make for a more faithful testimony. Pika with 22 months! Oh my goodness! Hello, thank you, how are you? Welcome, welcome. It is my guiding principle to carry out all testimonies flawlessly. Well, I can... Oh, shoot. What did he say? I could appreciate why an Imperial Police Bureau detective might have been present. But what business did a writer such of yourself bring to the scene, Soseki-san? Ah, well, you see. I had been asked that day to give a lecture. On the morning of the incident, in the Imperial Yume University's Grand Lecture Hall, no less. I'm doing okay, chilling with your pupper. Hell yeah, that sounds lovely. I'm doing great. At Yume University? After the lecture, I had a very pleasant conversation with a researcher from the medical science department. The professor over there, in fact. With Professor Mikatoba? Yes, that's right. It was arranged by one of the newspapers. They wanted some story or other about 2 former students who'd studied in Great Britain. Puppy, where? Of course, being a renowned author, the press never leaves me alone. They secretly spy, snapshot, scribble stories, and scupper my privacy. You don't got, nobody has to get out of bed, so saith I, comfy cattiest boy immer. Oh, well. As you can see, the conversation was written up in this newspaper here. Read it at your leisure, my provincial struggling student friend. I have plenty of copies. Thank you very much.
You practically threw that paper at me.
Seki Natsume article has been entered into the court record. What does it say? Why is that in the court record? Oh. The cat! There's a cat there. Hello. Who are you? I want to look at this cat. He's about to chop him in the neck. Interessante. Take a picture of the pupper. Oh, that's quite all right. Look at this too. There's like a Juan. There's like a this. She's holding a pen. Feathers are everywhere. It's crazy. Okay. Anyway, allowing my interview with the professor, the lady in question appeared and made a very unexpected announcement. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. Those were her words. As I explained before, Ms. Brett was never taken into custody. She continued to work in my laboratory under strict surveillance, of course. Oh! Star, I always know it's you. It's always Star. Star's more like fart spice. Hello. Welcome to my stream. Thank you for farting all over it. At which utterance the university immediately contracted the government to seek guidance. And the response was, permit Ms. Brett to go as long as the detective accompanies her. That detective I am at liberty to divulge was me, Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga. I've got a turtle now. It's my best friend. I don't have any other real friends. Just this turtle. Thereby, an entire party departed cordially for the seaside, it seems. It was extremely challenging to clear all the other members from the public from the vicinity of the beach. Pika! With a gift sub? What the heck? Hey, thank you. Got such a nice stream here. It'd be a shame if someone farted on it. It would be. Oh, he's still coughing up blood. But fortunately, I am at peak physical fitness at the moment, so... He's not. He's bleeding from the lungs. So to carry out my duty flawlessly. Oh my, Inspector, well, you do have something on your face now. Ah, how unsightly. I do apologize. Does that mean you went to the beach too, Father? Father? No. Fortunately, I had work to finish off. But unfortunately, of course, it meant that as my assistant, Ray was invited to take my place. Of course, being a renowned author, I didn't like to decline the invitation. Ah, but if only I had! I've never seen that awful sight! Relentlessly racked by remorse and regret! I love this guy behind him who doesn't look remotely Japanese. Oh! Pika with the gift subs! Oh my goodness, thank you. That's so sweet. What the heck? I appreciate you. Very well, I must now ask you to present your formal testimony to the court. You will give an account of all you witnessed on your impromptu excursion to the coast. Is that it's not even a real turtle. Of course, Your Excellency. Stuart? Stuart? Who's Stuart? Oh, Star. Stuart! Look what I can do. Relentlessly racked by remorse and regret I am. Witness testimony. Yeah, if we just all start gaslighting Star and call them Stuart at every moment. Hi, Star! Hello, Star! Stuart Spice. That's the sixth Spice Girl. Stuart Spice. Stop. On the day of the incident, I was ordered on a special surveillance assignment in this disguise. I just managed to catch that crab when I suddenly heard a caterwaul from behind me. I ran to the beach hut at once, where I found the pair in question. Yes, that young girl was astride the Englishwoman, dagger in hand, and she stabbed wildly. Dagger? I saw blood on the blade. It proved to me she'd stabbed the victim multiple times. Cozy, I heard Stuart Spice was here, my favorite father. Father. Why does he have a turtle on his head? Because he's in disguise. Now, what the hell? First Fart Spice, now Stuart Spice. With all these aliases, the government will never find me. Indeed, it does appear that the testimony that both witnesses here present saw it. The very moment of this heinous crime. New name, hello. What? Now, if you will recall, I promised evidence as well. Stuart Fart Spice. Yeah, Fart is their middle name.
Father, tell me, when can I leave to be on my own?
What phrase did I use again? Ah, yes, it was this damning evidence. A year and 4 months, hell yeah!
What's that you have there, Counsel? A so-called fountain pen, is it? Correct, Your Excellency. I found it at the scene whilst examining the body. It appears that in her dying moments, with her final ounce of strength, the victim clutched a piece of evidence that would positively identify her as a killer.
What? Your Excellency, if you would cast your eyes over the photographic print of the crime scene once more. She's dead as hell, Your Honor.
Ah, oh, goodness me.
He's holding it.
Yes, the victim is clearly grasping something quite deliberately there in her hand.
I don't know, I have everything your father in my head. It just goes, Luke, I'm afraid. Luke, I am your father.
That's right, the fountain pen. The fountainhead. And if you would kindly examine the pen, Your Excellency. Ah, the owner's initials have been engraved into the ebonite barrel. R.M. Ray Membami. The initials of the defendant.
Ah, no!
This fountain pen will be admitted immediately as critical evidence.
The fountain pen was entered to the court record.
So, have I omitted everything? Anything? Decisive testimony and damning evidence. There's a bright blue sky outside the courthouse today. Perfect weather to ascribe guilt, I feel. All right,
Let's just calm down. The striped shirt makes him look like an escaped convict. That's how the bathing suits used to be, like in the early 1900s. Or I guess the late 1800s.
I don't understand the prosecutorial of 9 months ago. Had none of this man's poise.
Counsel for the defense. You may begin your cross-examination now.
Oh, yeah.
Arahodo-san.
Naruhodo. Oh, that's me. That means, oh.
Yeah, me. There another Naruhodo in my courtroom.
Actually, there isn't even a single Naruhodo in your courtroom.
Cousin Ryutaru, pull yourself together, please.
All right, I've seen this countless times as a find inconsistencies in the witness's testimony to prove that they're lying somehow. That's all there is to it. That's how you do it. That's all I can do.
They swam away from prison. Glub, 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 glub. All right, let's press everybody, baby.
In that jaunty disguise? Correct. Wait, no. I mean, it wasn't the first time I've worn the swimsuit for a dip in the ocean. It's tried and tested. Do what must be done to keep the Englishwoman under surveillance. Those were my orders that day. And this tried and tested outfit was the answer? Being able to blend flawlessly into a crowd is an important part of a detective's job.
Stop. This is so silly.
I submerged myself in the salty water, leaving only Mr. Turtle floating inconspicuously on the surface. Mr. Turtle loves the water.
But was there no need for you to blend into the background on this assignment, really? There was no need for you to do that, was there?
That made you late to arriving on the scene. I think perhaps you had your priorities wrong.
Perhaps I shouldn't pursue this line of questioning any further at the moment.
Blood, hello, how are you?
I just managed to catch a crab when suddenly I heard a caterwaul from behind me.
Star, I love you. Star, oh no, Flute, I love you. I do love you too, Star. You paid your bills, hell yeah. I drank and I sat up. I'm gonna listen to how Sasato says hold it. Okay, ready?
Hold it!
Ah, you're describing the victim's scream, presumably, Sasaki-san.
You did adulting! Hell yeah!
In more literary terms, you might say it was a scream that could have pierced the heavens.
Gurren Lagann?
Ah!
Kaya! Or the like. Of course, that's just a metaphor. We renowned authors are wont to describing things so.
Soseki-san wasn't like this at all in England.
Being an adult is hard, I tell you what. Anyway, I spun around at the noise and the beach hut immediately fell under my gaze.
Yes, the beach hut.
Yes, the beach hut. It's me, Ryutaro. The area is popular with government ministers. Many have seaside retreats there for rest and recuperation. It's beautiful. Locals are prohibited from entering the area, so it's always very quiet. Beach hut is a simple structure erected as a place for people to change or take refuge from the sun. Excuse me. Mr. Turtle, that's Crush's father! Whoa, Mr. Turtle's my father, whoa! Have you seen Mr. Turtle at Disneyland? Or Crush, I mean, not Mr. Turtle. But Crush is at Disneyland. He talks to you, it's great. Although the Englishwoman commandeered the hut for herself. Which meant that I was forced to change in my swimwear on the sand. I imagine it was rather embarrassing for you. Well, anyway, I tossed the crab aside and headed for the beach hut at a run. Or, in more literary terms, I decrabbled and beetled off hut-wise. Stop. I ran into the beach hut at once, where I found a pair in question. Oh, Star! A gifto? Subo? Thank you. Oh my goodness. Wait, by pair you don't mean, but how could that be? Wait. What? Oh, yeah. Both of them. No, you misunderstand. Obviously, I mean the victim and the defendant, Rei Membami-san. I don't know why that's so hard for me to say. Oh, it would have been helpful if you could have just said that from the outset. I love Ryutaro with the lil hat. You jump to conclusions, you have to expect to fall flat on your face sometimes.
Dear me, pinning your hopes on such an outside chance. Foolish, very foolish.
Hello, Icy Soul's fiance. Boo, 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 boo.
It really was an outside chance. I just wish I'd realized that before I said something silly.
So, Inspector, why don't you tell the court how exactly you found the aforementioned pair in the hut?
Well, it was a sorry sight. A really grisly scene. I parted the Norrin curtain hanging in the doorway and stepped inside, only to see the defendant leaning menacingly over the lifeless body of the victim, sprawled on the sand.
Whoa, the turtle head went...
My glasses very nearly cracked at the ominous sight that met my eyes.
How thoroughly appalling.
Ugh.
He doesn't appear to be lying here.
Well, Soseki-san, can you confirm what Inspector Hosonaga is saying, I wonder? Yeah, Ouchie's hair got worse after the last case, and now it's worse than ever. Oh, you like a literary man's opinion. Yes, that young girl that was astride the Englishwoman, dagger in hand, and she stabbed wildly.
Hold it!
Stabbed wildly? You actually saw her do it? Oh, indeed. The terrible spectre, the terrapin inspector, the bloody torrent, the author's torment! Eek! every sight and every sound is still carved into my melancholy memory. That was my impression, at least, as a future literary sensation.
Counsel, what on earth was that shrill, effeminate scream?
Oh, nothing. What are you insinuating? I'm as manly a Japanese man as you. I wonder if I might interject here, Soseki-san. Something you said is troubling me. That was my impression, were your words just now, I believe. Oh, he twitching. Ah, so do you mean to say you're not confident that you really did see what you've described? Oh, now he's getting crazy again. No, I mean, yes. I know what I saw. My ears didn't deceive me when I heard that scream. Hence, my eyes didn't deceive me either. I could describe everything I saw vividly. I could publish it all in tomorrow's newspaper serial. Serial?
It sounds as though the next installment of I Am a Cat may take a macabre turn.
I think this is a fool's errand.
The more we press your author friend on what he saw, the more entrenched he's going to become. Oh dear, how awkward. I saw blood on the blade. It proved to me that she'd stabbed the victim multiple times.
Hold it! Hold it!
He was stabbed multiple times? How can you be sure of that? Well. Very simply, from the blood on the blade. The blood? When I entered the hut, I saw the defendant holding the blade raised up in the air.
Yes, that's right. I saw it too.
Oh. And I noted that there was blood on the blade already at that point. In other words, the victim had already been stabbed at least once by the time I arrived on the scene. Yeah, his hair got worse.
Yes, that's right. I saw it too.
And the victim was already holding the defendant's fountain pen in her hand, too. All of which means I can be sure the victim did not die instantly.
Yes, right. I saw it too. Maybe a year in young London was too much for him. It sounds like he's forgotten to speak Japanese.
Logic of your argument is sound, at least. Well, as I said, it is my guiding principle to carry out all testimonies flawlessly. Perhaps it should have been your guiding principle to protect the victim flawlessly. That's just my personal opinion, of course.
Damn.
Turtle go. Counsel, you will refrain from mocking the witness.
Oh no, I just have so many thoughts whirling around in my head. That's all I can do to stand here wide-eyed and mute.
Goodness, my dear, you really must try to calm down. But how am I supposed to find an inconsistency in what those two gentlemen are saying? I don't see why either of them would have any reason to lie. What you must remember, I think, is that witnesses may inadvertently lie at times. For various reasons. A misunderstanding, a mistaken observation, a delusion, even... delusion. They're delusional. What's important is that we determine the truth, and there's only one sure way to do that. Yes, with evidence, of course. Spoken like a true judicial assistant. I mean lawyer. During witness testimony, you can... I know how to do that. I know how to do those things.
Yes, it's all about inconsistencies.
Which have identified... Let me just present witness. Yes!
All right, then. I'll consider the details of all the evidence in the court record against each statement of kind and inconsistency. I hope I'm up to the task.
Don't forget, you can have the witnesses repeat their statements as many times as they like. Everyone has to start at the beginning, remember. So those wide eyes are quite forgivable. Besides, there's no one else to defend the poor girl. You're right.
I need to listen to the testimony again from the start.
You don't. Think Mr. Turtle's disappointed in Crush? Or just ride the current? Meanwhile, Mr. Turtle is a heckin' detective. He's with a detective. He's also like a toy or something. Alright, let's look at our evidence. Where's the murder weapon?
Can I look at this?
I cannot examine the pen. Okay, so... Time of death around 2 p.m. ascertained by examination and witness statements. A single deep stab wound. Ah, okay. All right, we'll present it. Okay. All right, let's present the evidence.
Objection!
Yeah! Oh! I love her.
With the accusatory cry that just welled up from deep inside me, I think I finally understand. Every time the Kazuma-sama and Naruto-san have stood here at this bench, the stakes have been very, very high indeed.
What's the meaning of that menacing pose, counsel? I'd like the witnesses to clarify something for me. It's me, Ryutaro.
Who, what, where, when, how?
Not you, Saseki-san. This query is directed at Inspector Hosonaga. It's me. In your statement just now, you said the victim was stabbed multiple times. Yes, that's right. As I said when I entered the hut, the defendant was already standing over the victim, bloody knife in hand, just like a murderous demon. And yet, that cannot be.
What? To the point, please, Counsel.
There's a book. In the post-mortem report, it clearly states that the victim was stabbed one time only. Let's get through the evidence with your host, Comfy. Yay! In other words, Inspector Hosenaga's testimony is bullshit. It's Saseki-san.
Me?
You claim to have seen the Mbami-san in the throes of stabbing the victim.
Yes, I did. Wildly.
Both you and the inspector confirmed the same point, that there was already blood on the knife that you saw the defendant holding.
Yes, and?
Quite simple. We know the murder weapon was used to stab the victim only once, therefore, there's no way there could have been blood on the knife if that single stabbing hadn't already occurred.
Ah, true! And what exactly is your contention, Counsel? Are you ever going to tell us?
Yes, Your Excellency, there's only one logical conclusion. What Saseki-san in fact saw was not the moment that the defendant stabbed the victim at all, but the moment that the defendant in fact withdrew the blade from the victim's body.
That can't be!
Excellent work, Sasato. You exploded at them with that objection and then proceeded to pull them apart systematically.
Well, this takes me back. Yes, I seem to remember your cousin staged a scene much like this in that trial 9 months ago. A half-witted child with a half-baked objection, attempting to steal the show.
You're right, there were certain similarities. Except that so-called half-witted child managed to outwit the prosecution, who was only half a head of hair.
Slender! My head is quite adequately dressed. In any case, all this talk of stabbing and withdrawing of multiple wounds, it makes not a jot of difference.
What? Why not? Frog, hello, how are you? I'm great.
Engage your brain, young man. When the accused first plunged the deadly weapon into the victim, that was the fatal blow. And it was that moment, just as she had withdrawn the blade ready for her next strike, that the witnesses saw. The knife was already tainted with blood because the accused had already stabbed the victim.
Ah!
All you have successfully shown with your little display is that the mustached author is prone to moments of extravagance.
Hydrate, I can do that. Ah, it's me, Ryutaro. I'm out of tea and I'm sad about it.
I am in agreement with the prosecution. The defense has been wielding the blade at all, was seen wielding it at all. That is sufficient grounds for her actions to be viewed with suspicion.
But if she was withdrawing the blade,
then we are back to where we started.
Sorry?
Consider this, young yokel boy. Young yokel boy. If the student girl is innocent as you claim, then why would she have pulled the blade from the victim? And with a demon's cold-blooded composure, too. The prosecution demands an explanation, and it had better be good.
Why did Ray pull out the knife?
Ah, yes. Going for the jugular.
What does Father mean by that?
Let the court hear your answer then, Counsel.
Truth is, I don't really know. But I have to come up with a plausible reason here, or we don't have a case.
The reason why the defendant pulled the knife blade out of the victim's body was surely so she could try and save her life, I guess. Out of tea. I'll go get you more tea. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. According to the post-mortem report, the victim's death was not instant.
That's correct. It was thought she would have had remained conscious for a short while after sustaining the injury. Indeed, giving her the time to take hold of this piece of evidence that clearly indicates her killer.
The point is, being a medical research assistant, Membami-san was compelled to act when faced with the wounded victim. Instinctively, she pulled the blade out in an attempt to save Ms. Brett's life. Is that wrong?
Did you hear that, Your Excellency? It would seem that this is the best we could expect of this young yokel, I mean.
Indeed.
Is it just me, or does it suddenly feel colder in here?
Your Excellency, if I may. Speak, witness. I would like another opportunity to testify. In respect to the slipshod assertion just put forward by the Yokel Defense Council, I mean.
Slipshod? An excellent idea, Inspector. Our young yokel hopeful has a modicum of knowledge when it comes to the law, it seems. But in matters of medicine, he appears to possess not one iota of common sense.
Very well, Inspector. I will permit your request. You will testify again before the court on the subject of the Defense Counsel's assertion. Yes, sir. I will do so flawlessly. I don't know. That's a high...
A lot to ask.
Pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding. That's basic knowledge that any medical research assistant with an ounce of sense ought to know.
Back with the tea. Thank you. Yum, yummy, yum, 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 yum. I love tea. Thank you, Frog, for hopping in. Get it? Haha, because if that's what that's what frogs do. Because they hop around. Because they hop around.
In other words, there's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim. Let's not forget that the young student did have a motive for killing the victim. The man the victim murdered 9 months ago, Dr. Wilson, was the defendant's highly respected mentor.
Is what you just said true, Inspector? Pulling a knife from a wound really caused the wound to bleed heavily?
Yes, think of the weapon itself as a stopper in the wound that prevents excessive blood loss. Until a doctor is ready to provide proper treatment, that stopper shouldn't be removed.
Oh, I see.
This is why yokels should stay on the farm. Wow! Even a quack from some obscure mountain village would have had such basic knowledge. Anyone who's ever given someone a little poke with a knife and pulled it out again knows it.
Oh, well, I've never stabbed anyone, you see, or pulled a blade out of a wound, so...
Of course you haven't. I didn't bring you up to behave like a bandit.
Bother! Is it true what they're telling me? I really hopped the rest of your day. I really... Come on.
Yes, it's basic remedial knowledge for medics. Ray would have been well aware of it. If she were to claim ignorance of such fundamentals, that would prove fatal in many ways.
But then, why would Ray have done it? Did she have pulled out that knife in full knowledge that it would be fatal for Ms. Britt?
I don't know.
Ray never once mentioned anything about the knife to me. It seems almost impossible to believe, but would my friend actually have...
Sasato,
Yes?
pull yourself together. We mustn't lose sight of why we're here.
Just call my way back to my kitchen, get me Coke. Get a Coca-Cola. Do it.
Counsel, it's time for your cross-examination.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency. Ugh.
However, I must warn you that if your cross-examination fails to identify any issue with the established facts, I will be moving to my adjudication immediately afterwards.
I understand.
Believing in your clients and fighting for their cause until the bitter end. I knew it would be hard, but... Oh, shoot. I skipped ahead again. But it's me, Ryutaro. It's me, wow.
Pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding.
Hold it!
You say doing it without thinking could be a problem. Does that mean that if you use due care and attention, it would be alright?
Excuse me. Wouldn't have thought this needed spelling out really, but the blade is like a stopper in the wound. Remove it and a serious hemorrhage will occur. In
In other words, a medic would need to be present before any attempt was made to withdraw the blade. Doing it without thinking would be madness. You just can't do it.
Oh, well, thank you for such a thorough explanation.
You see, Counsel, when you act without thinking, the result is a bloodbath.
Back to the witness testimony, please.
It's basic knowledge that any medical research assistant with an ounce of sense ought to know.
Your Honor, I object. It couldn't have been my plant. Put it on God that is innocent.
Oh, we put it on God?
On God, I say. Well, he's free to go. How are you, J-Rain? J-Rain?
01, welcome. In that case, there's an obvious explanation here.
Which is?
Clearly, the defendant, Ray Membami-san, does not possess an ounce of sense.
Do you think about that, Professor Mikotoba? I'm not sure that you should be labeling your best friend as lacking in common sense.
Well, I thought it would be better than labeling her as a murderer.
I don't know, young people today. If that's friendship, I don't understand it.
Careful, Counsel. A lack of common sense can be a very dangerous thing.
Oh dear, that recoiled on me rather badly.
That's life, I'm afraid. A lesson everyone must learn. Hopefully you can see now that this is really basic medical knowledge. Being involved in medical research, Membami-san would certainly have been aware of it. In other words, there's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife out of the victim. Probably that's what we need to present evidence on, but
the defendant suddenly encountered somebody she knew lying on the ground bleeding to death. The sight could have shocked her delicate sensibilities, causing her to remove the blade inadvertently.
I really don't think inadvertent actions can explain this. The woman is a medical research assistant. I can't imagine who would behave so irrationally.
Oh, but irrational behavior is a woman's prerogative, isn't it?
Oh dear, you have a lot to learn about women. Only a small-minded man could have such bigoted views.
Oh dear, perhaps I'm letting my male persona take hold of me a little too much.
Well, have I managed to convey the basics now? That should cover the medical side of the argument. Let's not forget that the young student did have a motive for killing the victim.
Whatever the motive, it just isn't in Membami-san's nature to do something so awful.
She had both motive and opportunity. That's very hard to argue against. Just use Exodia. Oh, okay. Did it work?
But you didn't know the defendant.
You don't know the defendant.
And you, Counsel, do not appear to know the law.
Yes, evidence is the only way to convince the court of your argument, not feelings.
With this fledgling to defend her, I would almost say I pity the accused.
So do I.
Inspector, you will reiterate your point about the defendant's motive, please. Ah, yes. Ms. Brett was in many ways the sworn enemy of Membami-san. Bum 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 bum. I'm surprised the music isn't different in the second game. Press.
Hold it!
I just realized it's the same music.
Yes, well, that's true. Dr. Wilson recognized Membami-san's talent and offered her the position of assistant, despite her being a woman. She was extremely grateful to him.
Yes, the Englishman appears to have been a very broad-minded individual.
Dr. Wilson has no time for outdated traditions.
He met with opposition, of course, but he believed firmly in Membami-san's abilities. Clearly, the defendant was in the man's debt, which only serves to prove my point.
This is hopeless. I can't find a single crack in this testimony anywhere. If I knew that withdrawing the knife from the wound would threaten Miss Brett's life further, I just can't think of any way to explain why she did it.
Sato, it's at times like these when it's especially important to remember the fundamentals.
The fundamentals?
Evidence is what counts in the courtroom, isn't it?
Of course, but I've been through the court record dozens of times already.
I think perhaps you're forgetting something, though. You didn't take the evidence at face value. You can and must examine it in greater detail, too.
Ah!
I realize this is your first time playing the game of Phoenix Wright. Duncan, hello, how are you?
So if you need reminding of the rudiments, you only need to ask. I'll do my very best to help.
Examine the evidence in the court record. It's an idea, certainly.
I know it. Blood Moon 26 with the follow. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Mew crew. How are you, baby? With a see-through shirt filled with Coke. I'm just gonna let that one slide.
Come to think of it, Kazuma-san and Naruhodo-san were always turning evidence over and over in their hands.
A salad? Thank you.
Yes, I need to examine things.
Ah, by the look in your eyes, I see it's coming back to you. You know what to do. Don't be so forgetful.
Okay, so it's gotta be this, but let's see. There's gotta be a good reason. Ow!
Ruckus English.
I'll do the regular. She's like dressed up right behind me. Raucous England, returnees, tell all. Is this the interview with you and Saseki-san? Is it, father? Looks as though it's quite an exchange.
Yes, he became a little over-animated when he was talking about his time in England. The photographer managed to capture the moment his hand karate chopped me on the neck.
Do hope you weren't hurt. Oh. Oh, this looks that important. This is a newspaper from Saseki-san. There seems to be an important article on the back page as well. Exclusive, deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. From Yume's medical research? Father, isn't that your lab?
Throw things at him.
What the? Let me see that. The poison's been stolen.
It's this morning's paper that Saseki-san gave us. Are you saying you didn't know?
As embarrassing as that is for the head of the laboratory, I didn't. I've not heard any such thing. Where on earth could this reporter have gleaned this information?
Come to think of it, there was no article mentioning this story in our paper this morning, was there?
A highly toxic poison we've been working on in the strictest confidence. I put Ray in charge of the project.
Ray? She was managing it?
What's written here is true. It means that she tried to hide the theft from me. Moreover, the details were leaked somehow.
I don't believe it.
We need to read this article very carefully.
Article about the poison. That's its own separate thing. Following the lecture at Yume by Soseki Natsumi in 11th August, it's come to light that a very disturbing incident took place. A deadly poison being secretly developed in the university's forensic science laboratory was stolen. Even the smallest amount entering the body, either via the mouth or via the wound from a poison-laced blade, would be proved fatal in minutes. Current methods cannot detect the newly developed chemical. The university would have to be consulted. Why is the poison being developed? Onset of symptoms occurs in minutes, starting with impaired breathing and ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death. Such symptoms would be suggestive of this toxin. It's apparently an entirely new synthesis of alkaloids and rumored to have been commissioned by the military. Yo, let's present this.
Objection!
Yeah. Sounds like Ray was running a very toxic work environment. No, there is one possibility. One very good reason why the defendant might have decided to withdraw the knife from the victim's wound. Sharku, hello!
What? Ah! The yokel not only has a poor grasp of the law, but is also a poor loser. Alright.
Blood Moon, my day is going well. How's your day going? Also.
Tell us then, what possibility do you think you've identified?
It's here, in this newspaper article. An article about a deadly poison having been stolen from a laboratory at the Imperial Yume unit.
Objection!
The victim perished from a stab wound. Poison has no relevance in this case.
But...
Prosecutor Ouchie, you will let the defense speak. But a newspaper article, the court cannot rely on that kind of hearsay those wretched publications carry. Counsel for the defense. I am going to need some tangible basis for your claim. You will indicate to the court precisely what part of the newspaper article mentioned affirms your assertion.
Your Excellency!
Yes, of course. Thank you. It's me, Ryutaro.
I would have never done something to further endanger Miss Brett's life without just cause.
The reason why the defendant pulled the knife from the victim's body is explained in the article where it says, yeah, I think it's the second one. Well, let me check. Let me double check now. Yeah, poison lace blade. Okay, okay. Boom, 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 boom. The article reveals the following property about the poison in question. While the toxin enters his body from a knife laced with the poison, it's rapidly absorbed and causes death in minutes. Are you suggesting if the knife used to attack Ms. Brett was laced with this very poison, it would explain why the defendant, Membami-san, would have withdrawn the blade as soon as possible? Yes, the truth is, it was an attempt to stop the poison from entering the victim's body. What? Reminds me when I was in an argument with my brother. The objection overruled.
Objection!
Objection!
Like that.
This is complete and utter nonsense!
Not at all. Not at all. The defendant withdrew the knife blade from the victim's body not to accelerate the woman's demise, but to save her life, and the prosecution cannot deny the possibility.
Have you not read the post-mortem report? The cause of death was a hemorrhage. The word poison appears nowhere in the document.
Well, that's because by acting quickly to remove the blade, the defendant prevented the poison from taking...
Objection! Oh, please, this is clearly desperation. The weasel's last breaking of wind.
The weasel's last fart.
What that means.
Poison has nothing whatsoever to do with this case, as I believe the defense is well aware. We have no proof that the information in this wretched newspaper article is at all reliable anyway.
That situation, what the student should have done is wait for medical assistance to arrive. But instead, you claim she suspected poisoning and took the potentially lethal decision to remove the blade. She must have had a strong reason for her suspicions then, or the argument makes no sense.
Exactly. Well put, Inspector. On what grounds did she do it, Yoko?
I did suspect that stolen poison was involved.
If you want grounds, I'll give you grounds. Coffee grounds. Yum, yum, yum. Eat them up. What?
You can't possibly.
From your expression, Counsel, it would appear those are not empty words. But naturally, as you stand in this courtroom as a lawyer, you must be aware that words alone, empty or not, are of no value in our modern justice system. The court demands evidence. Yes, Your Excellency.
I'm well aware of that. I've seen it many times. From my place at his side on the Old Bailey.
Hydrate posture.
I'll give you grounds, earthbends, raves.
Ow.
What evidence demonstrates a clear link between this case and the poison in the newspaper article?
Is it this? Yeah. I mean, it's just this again.
Take that!
How exactly would you explain this piece of evidence's connection to the newspaper article? In truth, I'm not really sure. My father always taught me to ask my elders whenever I was in trouble, so I thought I should ask your opinion. Oh, is this wrong? No!
Heck. Now wait just a minute. Alright. The article in the paper had details of the toxin. Now, where have we seen similar details? Oh, wait a minute. Is it because... Well, wait. Okay, well, hold on.
If I'm not mistaken, it appears your advice.
Okay. Maybe I need to, Yeah, extreme. Okay. So I guess it's just this. Okay. My bad. My bad. I forgot that it was in there. Yeah, we'll present that because that says about the pooples.
Take that!
Yeah. Wondering if the weapon was to commit. The murder was at the crime scene, so you can check for what? How? Hoops? Yeah, the lady who got killed was working on a poison thing at the university also. I kept popping up like I'm in the trial. Hell yeah, you're under arrest! I would ask the court to refer to the notes section of the post-mortem report, which reads, B. Mitos's pupil constriction was observed in the victim. Ah. Clearly, being a yokel with no knowledge of forensic science, I have no idea, so please do tell me. Presumably, in fact, in this condition of the victim was noted in the post-mortem report, means that it's an unusual symptom of death.
Yeah, well.
Not again. Oh! Under normal circumstances, the pupils dilate when someone dies. There was extreme constriction instead. That's most certainly unusual, yes.
What are you doing, you yokel detective?
In the newspaper article, there's the following information about the stolen poison. Onset of symptoms occurs in minutes, ending with an acute contraction of the pupils prior to death.
What?
If the defendant, upon seeing the victim stabbed in the back, happened to notice that the pupils of the Ms. Brett's eyes had constricted severely.
Criminal spies.
Yes, as a medical research assistant, she would have had suspected poison immediately, without doubt. Prosecutor Ouchie, I think you'll agree this is very compelling evidence.
You yokel student and yokel professor!
All right, calm down. Calm down, sir.
I believe the defense has expertly demonstrated a credible reason for the defendant's actions.
No.
Eugene Mikotoba,
Yes, Your Excellency.
I believe you are best placed here to confirm or deny the veracity of the defense counsel's argument. You'll tell the court in truth about the details reported in this newspaper, please.
Ouchie do be having ugly hair.
Pains me to have to admit,
Excuse me.
but I'm afraid I don't know.
Don't know. Toxin was kept under lock and key at my laboratory, certainly, but I was unaware of any theft.
You mean to tell the court that the reports of this theft are unfounded?
No, Your Excellency. Without returning to the laboratory to investigate myself, I couldn't say.
Ha! Listen to the bumbling academic. Unaware of the theft of secret state research from his own workplace until he reads of it in the newspaper.
I take full responsibility for the incompetence of my supervision. Father!
It's a pitiful situation for a university professor. You should have more control over your students, rather than allowing them off on killing sprees.
Yeah! That's totally unfounded. Who said it? Hello.
None of this is Professor Mikotoba's fault. It's all my fault.
Ray!
And Bobby-san, you stand accused here. Outbursts like this will not be tolerated.
But it was me. I was the one who noticed that the poison we were developing had been stolen that day.
What?
So you knew.
I'd been placed in charge of overseeing the project. It was the day that the professor and Saseki-san were interviewed together for the newspaper. That's when I noticed that some of the poison was missing. Just a tiny amount it was.
Why didn't you let me know immediately?
I was scared. The whole project was supposed to be confidential, but some of the toxin had somehow been taken. So I decided I'd try to get it back before anyone else found out. Because I had a very good idea who the thief was.
The thief? You don't mean...
Yes, of course, it was that dainty English woman.
It's Giselle Brett.
That's why I decided to join the little group of people going to the seaside. Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me as if she knew she was untouchable. I know it was you who stole the poison.
Well now, whatever do you mean?
And then, she suddenly got to her feet, before falling to her knees in front of me and then collapsing on the floor. That's when I saw the knife in her back. I couldn't understand what had just happened. And then, a moment later, I was seized with fear. The pupils of her eyes they'd shrunk to tiny pinpoints.
I don't believe it. In other words, you'd realize that the victim was suffering the effects of the stolen poison.
My mind started racing. I hadn't seen anything past Miss Brett's lips whilst I'd been with her, which left only one possible way for the poison to have entered her body.
On the blade of the knife in her back!
And that train of thought was what spurred you to withdraw the blade.
Yes, if the amount that had entered her bloodstream was small enough, she might still have a chance. That's what I'd hoped for. Really, I'm so sorry for staying silent this whole time.
Your big dog squishing you? Hell yeah.
Your attempt to hide the truth of what happened is not something that can be overlooked. However, I have duly noted the courage in which you have confessed in the end.
Thank you, Your Excellency. It's barely perceptible, but do you think the balance has shifted a little bit in this courtroom now?
Your Excellency, do not be deceived. The victim just collapsed before your eyes, you say? Well, Membami-san, if that is the case, perhaps you could explain how Miss Brett came to be stabbed.
Well,
You have no answer because the simple truth is that you stabbed the victim motivated by revenge.
Objection!
No. But you have no evidence to prove that assertion, do you? Oh, I have evidence, and it is very much conclusive. What do you mean?
what's the prosecution counsel up to? It was brief, but he hesitated for a moment there. I'm almost sure of it.
We'll produce the aforementioned evidence at once, Professor Elgin.
Welcome back. Perhaps some praise is due, young yokel student. What? I'd imagine there would be no need for me to submit this evidence. But you brought this on yourself. Okay, well, who took that picture? What the? Could a more damning shot exist? The cruelty in the air on that beach is almost palpable. This evidence, more than any other, reveals the true extent of the accused's murderous nature. For it shows the precise moment that Membami-san plunged her dagger into the victim's back.
No, that's not true, no.
I don't believe it. It's me, Ryutaro. Ryutaro, no. That's my name.
Order! Counsel for the defense, was it you who was responsible for that shrill scream that pierced my courtroom?
Perhaps his voice is yet to break. These yokels are slow of mind and slow to mature. All right.
I'll show you who's slow to mature.
Careful now. Susato is starting to show her face here. It is often said that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and here we have ample proof. Court will attempt this extremely cogent photographic print as evidence.
Cogent.
I can't believe he's had a photograph like this up his sleeve the entire time. It's such a stark image, I'm genuinely lost for words. Wait a minute, I don't understand. How did you, who took that photograph?
That's of no importance here. That is very important. That is the most important.
Objection!
That's an absurd thing to say. It's crucially important. Whoever took this photographic print was a witness to Miss Brett's death. Court must be allowed to hear this person's testimony. Ah!
We'll uphold the defense's demand. Prosecution will reveal the identity of the person responsible for taking this photograph at once.
Uh-oh, he didn't. Well, I'm afraid I can't do that.
Pardon?
You see, this print arrived at the Imperial Police Bureau headquarters by express post yesterday. But there was nothing to indicate the sender's name or address. The provenance of the print is unknown.
Goodness.
Are we to understand then, counsel, that in full knowledge of the fact that this photographic print has the murkiest of origins, you nevertheless believe it fit for submission as evidence in the Supreme Court?
When you first produced that print before I noticed it, you hesitated for a brief moment. Because you knew that it wasn't completely reliable evidence, didn't you?
Silence, you yokel student and blabbering professor! What matters is that the blatant truth of this print so eloquently expresses. But the defendant's already admitted to pulling the blade from the wound.
Clearly, this isn't the moment that the knife was plunged into the victim's back, but...
The moment it was withdrawn. Don't waste the court's time with your ramblings.
Indeed, without knowledge of who produced this print, we have no means of verifying the claim. The scene it captures is without doubt the most compelling evidence presented to the court. If the defense is unable to shed any further light on the matter, I believe this conclusion is clear.
Oh no!
Sato, this is the time for you to fight. What you've established so far is true, then there can be no doubt. This photograph shows the moment that Ray withdrew the blade from the victim.
Yes, we just need to prove that somehow.
You'll have plenty of time to rue your defeat on the slow train back to the provinces. And to rue the day you came up against Takasuchi Ouchi in a court of law.
I can't determine who took this photograph, and the trial is going to come to an end. There must be a clue somewhere. There must be some way of working out who took it.
Well, counsel?
Your Excellency, the burning question is who took that photograph, and the truth is... let's see. Can I, like... So, it's from, like, outside. No, it's, Okay, so what's the angle here? So that means that they were inside the dress, maybe? Okay, so she's dead here. But then also, yeah, we can't see her other hand about the pen. But like, this looks like, I guess this looks like it's they're peeping into the tent. Interesting. Yeah, well, so where were the clothes? How did they get this shot? Maybe it was like over here, but like this is kind of in the way. She has several masks in here. Stop, that's so funny. Okay, who went to the beach? I don't think I have a lot of... Let's look at the people. Okay. So she was at the beach, she was at the beach, he was at the beach, and he was at the beach. But like, I guess other people are also at the beach too? I don't, let's save. I don't know. Let's save. I'm not sure. I'm not confident whatsoever. Ooh, 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 baby, 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 baby. Let's get back out of here. So, let's say I have the answer. That feels like the right thing to say.
This isn't about whether I can or can't come up with the answer now. I simply have to.
The identity of the person who took this dramatic photographic print is, I assure you, something the defense can and will reveal.
What? No, you can't possibly. But as you so boldly claim that you can, please, do enlighten us.
Unfortunately, I'm unable at the present to present a name.
How utterly underwhelming. Did you really believe that you could...
However, I am able to present evidence. The defense has a piece of evidence that reveals important details about the photographer's identity.
What?
Very well then, counsel. Present your proof to the court. Which piece of evidence do you claim reveals something about the identity of the mystery photo? Oh, shoot.
Well, beans. Is it the pen? Yeah, I really don't know. I'm going to present the photo.
Take that!
That's wrong. That's not it. No. No. No! Heck, beans, in fact. Beans and toast.
You could do it again, I guess. Whatever.
I mean, I guess somebody would, like, want to see that she had died. So, I guess maybe the poison article, right? Like, hey, I poisoned her. Because it seemed like somebody stabbed her from outside the tent. I don't know how that could be possible, but...
Take that!
No. Shoot. No, baby. Maybe this was wrong. I'm not sure what I'm missing here. I mean, okay, we've looked at that. Looked at the back. It's not this photograph. It's not... I mean... I'm not sure what it wants from us. This seems like the right play, because I can't back out of this now. Is it the pen?
Take that!
Look at this photo. Okay. No, this is still not it. What's a Catboy to do? I'm gonna reload is what I'm gonna do. Let's reload. Let's reload, baby, baby. Ooh. This is the tutorial mission, y'all. Okay, let's just keep trying. I don't have that much evidence. Here's the evidence. Every time it's gonna make you dance. You're gonna love dancing to the evidence. You're a little dance monster. Ooh-ee. Oh, 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 oh. Alright, I've presented... I mean, is it in this photograph? Like... I guess I could present this photograph.
Take that!
No. Shoot. This is so anticlimactic. There's only so much evidence I have left, everybody. Because I can't look... Okay, hold on. Because I can't, like, look... I can't, like, examine this photo. Hi, hello, what's up, hello. Oh, you're dead as hell. Too bad you sucked and nobody will mourn you. Okay, it's not the pen. It's not the poison article. It's not this photo. It's not... I only have 2 pieces of evidence left to present. Let me, I don't know.
Take that!
Oh, because if Soseki was there, then his photographer like the photo. Oh shoot!
What is that? The newspaper again?
I see.
Raucous England returnees tell all.
It's not the headline that's relevant here, Your Excellency. It's the photograph. Every time it makes me laugh. Oh. You notice it closely, you'll notice there's some white lines on the right-hand side. What? Oh. Oh my god, they're right. Oh, that's... I guess the chat's covering it up, but there are these lines here. Oh, you can see it, like... Well, it's kind of little, but... Yeah, no way. Okay, wow. Alright.
Ah, yes indeed. They had already caught my eye as it happens.
I thought that was like just a thing in the newspaper printing or something.
Ha, whatever, the shadow of some kind, presumably, from the branches of a tree or the like.
There are no trees growing inside my laboratory at the university, I can assure you.
Now, if you look closely at this photograph.
Good gracious.
Yes, exactly the same pattern of line is present on this photograph too.
Well, that tells us nothing. Ha! Yes, it's a shadow of some kind, definitely, from the branches of a tree.
There wouldn't be any trees growing inside a hut at the beach, Council.
What's quite remarkable about it is that the two patterns are absolutely identical. How could such an extraordinary similarity have transpired?
The curious matching pattern that appears on both photographic prints is a result of... a camera defect.
Some tree branches.
Like the camera's lens is cracked or something. Obviously, it must be due to a problem with the camera used to take the photographs.
With the photographic evidence device.
Yes, we can confidently say that the camera's lens must be scratched.
And that the scratched lens causes unwanted lines to appear on every print taken with the device. In short, the two photographs under consideration here were taken with the same camera.
But there must be hundreds of such camera devices here in the capital. It would be utterly impossible to identify the owner of this particular one.
Objection!
I think you're forgetting, Prosecutor Ouchie, that one of the photographs featured in the newspaper article. You idiot, you baka.
Newspaper,
That's right. The author of that article is a mystery witness to this crime.
Wah! Wah!
Wow. Many, what? Oh, hello.
I see you were called a raucous. I see why you were called a raucous England returnee.
What are you yelling about? You've already testified.
It's many memo, I tell you. Many memo.
Say that 5 times fast. Many memo.
Me, mo.
Suzaki-san. What was that? Did you say many memo?
Ever since I returned to Japan, a reporter from the Shoyu News has been hounding me, following my every move. A reporter by the name of Raiten Many...
Stop. Writing many memo?
Come on!
Sam Riegel. Hello, Jade. There's not really voice acting in this one, so I don't know. Maybe. I like him. Hello. His name is Writing Many Memo, everybody. Sometimes I can't get over the names.
Yes, hounding me from dawn till dusk.
Ah, now that he mentions it. Oh, is that him? That same reporter? Could that same reporter be? No, wait, I'm getting confused. This game, I swear.
A camera to the left of him, a notebook on the right. There I am, stuck in the middle with Writing Many Memo.
And my ear got chopped off too, don't worry about that.
So you're saying this picture was taken by
Many Memo, yes! My lord, your excellency, Esquire.
Officer, find this newspaper reporter at once and bring him to my courtroom. We will adjourn for a short recess in the meantime.
Ah!
Oh, yes, your excellency.
As you say, your excellency.
But one more thing. I want this knife, the murder weapon, examined for traces of poison. You will solicit the assistance of the Imperial University's medical department for the task. Understood?
Meh. Many memo!
It's a little knife. It's a tiny baby boy. Let me... We might end it here. I kind of want to keep going, but my voice is hurting, and this is a good stopping point. And then probably tomorrow... But I'm going to double check real quick. So, Great Ace Attorney Chronicles spoiler-free walkthrough. Okay. So let me just... I use these if I get very, very stuck, but then also to kind of see... Yeah, okay. The second part is going to be as long as the first, so we're not... I don't want to stop in the middle of it. So yeah, we're just going to stop here. I am leaving a very important choice in your hands. What? Oh. They're two... I thought that was two different thoughts. My DM is making my Sunshine character a depressed bean. How? What do you mean? It's your character. You do what you want with your character. What should I get for lunch? A burrito. I smell drama. Drama, baby. Yeah, so we're gonna call it here. I know it's like a little bit early. But that's how it goes with these streams. Sometimes we just end until we get to a point. Oh god, it's just a lot of this noise. Hankering for some burrito. Alright, babies. We're gonna leave her in the back there. Thank you all so much for hanging out today. We'll pick this back up tomorrow. At 9 a.m. West Coast American time. We will finish the case, regardless of how long it takes us. And then we're just gonna keep going. Yeah, the Discord, baby! If you guys... Alright. I have a few links I would like to share with you as we find somebody to raid. Ooh, baby! The first is my card. It is a one-stop shop to all things Comfy Catboy. If you would like to find me on Twitter or Instagram or anywhere like that, find out my editing, my video editing, commission info, the Discord is the perfect place to do that. We also have the link to the Discord. It's a beautiful place, full of lovely people. I would love, love, love to see you there. We also... Oh, Cosita's going. Ooh! We're gonna raid Cosita. Cosita is one of my first 50th... my 50... Wait, how do I say this? My first 50 followers on Twitch. Cosita is a Guga boy. And he's playing Pepsi Man! So that's gonna be very funny. And then last but not least is the link to my... Yeah, they were actually my 50th follower, come to think of it. But they were there before that. They wanted to be my 50th follower, so they lurked, but then they like waited until I was at 49. And then last but not least is the link to my YouTube channels. Did they all go through? There it is again. A year and 2 months, hell yeah. I love that. We're gonna raid Cosita. If you guys are subscribers, you can copy and paste this raid message. And, thought it was shorter. The length of time? Time is tricky like that. And if you're not a subscriber, hey, just give it a think. No pressure whatsoever, but, you know, hey, it helps me out a lot. And I appreciate it. I love you all to pieces. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm very excited to be playing this game again. And have a lovely rest of your Wednesday. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. I love you. Goodbye. Oh, my God. Start with a gift sub. Thank you. Okay, goodbye.